Motion graphics, text animations is something that is definitely an added benefit and skill. So then you can go to up to any employer and get your first video editing job. So if you ever wanted a video editing job, a client, whatever your heart desires, understanding motion graphics, text animations is a great skill set for you to have within your repertoire. So I'm going to show you the 3 basic text animations that you better know when it comes to any sort of After Effects, text animations, Premiere Pro, so you can be a better content creator. So I'm going to jump into After Effects and let's get straight into it. Okay guys, do not be startled. First, I'm going to show you exactly the basics of text without getting into the nitty-gritty. So first you open up your composition layer, and I purposely have it so it is 1080 by 1920, but you can flip that around to have your horizontal, but I'm going to keep it like this, right, for your short form content. Next, it is completely dark. What I need to do is I'm going to right click right here, new, solid. Let's make this yellow. I'm going to put in my hex code. You can choose whatever color you want. Click OK. There, that is my solid. Next, what I'm going to do is you can either press the T for your text tool, or you can right click, text layer. You see this has an empty text layer on top. There you go. And you go to your righty right here, your character tool. And here you'll be able to change the size as well as the color. And that is with character. You simply click this, and this will make the stroke, which is the outer. And you can increase the stroke or decrease the stroke, right? But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to have it as a fill. Next is you want to be able to center this text. So what I do is hold Control, go into this pan behind. It's a little hack. Double click that. Make sure your caps lock's not clicked. And that centers your text. And then you go into align horizontally and vertically. Now your text is directly in the center, which is so important with that anchor point. So your basic animations is all you do is you go P and you click and you notice position. So what you want to do is reverse. You click your keyframe and you drag that, let's say, to 4 seconds. Next is your X and Y axis. So as you can see, let's do a basic swooshing in effect. So I go to negative 3.57. This goes back to normal. I click space, see what happens. It is a little text animation. But you're like, that is way too slow. What do I do? All you do, drag this right keyframe over. There you go. Still a little too slow, and drag it even more. Wham. But you're like, that's kind of boring. Can I like spice it up a bit? Super simple. Select all your keyframes, press F9, which is easy ease. And as you see, there's a little easing into it. You can get even more complex. Whip out the little graph editor here, and you drag this so it comes super slow, super fast, and then super slow towards the end. Little whoosh, right? Whoosh. And then piece de resistance is you add a little motion blur to that. And that is the basics of text animations, just using your position keyframes. Of course, you can press T, right? And Shift P and T. Now you can control the opacity. So let's say you want it to be 100% here, but you can have it like 0% in the beginning. So it almost fades in as it's swooshing. Same thing, F9. Zoom in a little bit. So I want it like this. Yeah, looks okay. Next is we're going to show you basic text masking animations. So what you want to do is having your text in the middle, right click and create a shape layer. Doesn't matter its properties as long as it covers the text itself. Drag that down right here just so it covers the text, Make sure your shape layer is on top of the text. Next, what you want to do is you go to toggle switches, and then you'll see this track matte option. What I do is I go to my text layer and I go to track matte layer 1. And you'll see my shape layer has disappeared. Now I play around with the position keyframes and look what happens. It disappears. So what's happening is wherever the box is, that is where my text will appear. So now all I need to do is play around with the keyframes. So I'm going to drag my keyframes, let's say 3-4 keyframes to the right, go down, and I do a little easy ease to that. Bam, I have a little reveal text. There's other methods to do it, but this is how I do it. I'm like, that's a little too static. I want it to pop up a bit. So move this keyframe couple to the right, move this a little higher, drag this a little closer. It's a little pop. Maybe I should make this a little higher with the pop. There you go. Your basic reveal text. And it's good to know this because you'll see a lot of these After Effects templates. I'm like, wait, I can do that and I can make my own template. And last, I'm going to show you the most advanced motion graphics. And if you really wanted to get into motion graphics, this is the avenue and tools that you would do, right? So I'm just going to get rid of my shape layer, right? Get rid of all these keyframes. And let's go back into my align tool, just making sure everything is centered. Go into your paragraph, everything is centered, looks good to me. So next is we're going to not worry about your position keyframes. What we're going to do is drop down, click animate, and go to position, all right? Next is you want to click animate as well, and we're going to do something as well as position. We're going to add a little bit of opacity to it, all right? So first is, let's say I want my position on my y-axis to go, let's say, -60, and then opacity 0. Next, what I want to do is I want to duplicate this, Control D. So I have my second animator, and I want to make this 60 and this 100. Next is I want to go down to the range selector animator number 2, and then you're like, nothing's really changed. What you want to do is you want to mess around with the offset. As you can see, look what that does. So what I want to do now is animate the offset, right? So I drag this to where I want it, and then let's say it's gone there, 0 to there. I'm like, wait, that's kind of backwards, right? So you move it the other way around. So you want this to be actually -100. Right? That's pretty cool. But it still looks not that professional. So what you want to do is you go to your advanced, drop down, and here is where you can change it by letters. You can change the ramp up, ramp down, play around with this, ramp down. It's kind of backwards. Let's go ramp down for basics. And it kind of freezes there. So what you want to do is change your offset. There you go. And you can change with their ease high with ease low. Let's put 60%. There you go. And that is using the basics of your text animators to have a little crossfade text animation like that. And there was your 3 different tiers of text animations for your basic beginners that it's good to know. First is we had your overall text positions and keyframes, very similar to Premiere Pro. Next is we have masking and reveal text. And last is we have text animators, which is a brief intro. There's so many things you can do with this animation. You can have them flicker, you can have them spin around, you can have trim paths. It's ends on ends, and there's reasons why there are specifically motion graphics people and titles for this if you really want to get into this. And that, guys, was how you learn your little 3 basic foundations of text and motion graphics. There are people out there making six figures doing motion graphics, text animators full time. That is their job. There are title positions now that are called motion graphics animators. They're not so much video editors, but they do is understand things like Illustrator, After Effects, Photoshop, and they essentially create motion with text and graphics. You get the gist? But this is just an overview course and video of how you actually walk through and understand the basic foundations of text animations, and is a great thing to have. There are things like, After Effects templates and text templates, but as a video creator myself, I like to know a little bit behind the scenes of how these things actually work. If you are a complete newbie and this was way too advanced for you, I do have a crash course in Premiere Pro where I walk you through Premiere Pro in under 30 minutes, and you get all my keyboard shortcuts. Check that link out in the description below. My name is Peter. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective, where we all started with nothing, but you can always create something. Cheers, guys.